Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you were playing fullback up there, and I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. But you was strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to fix it, and our running back coach didn't take it. Biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Woo! Good morning. It's a beautiful Friday morning. It's a free-for-all Flashback Friday right here on the Martin Houston Show, powered by MaX Sports. I'm Martin Houston. That's Xavier Houston. We got Justin Jones behind the glass pressing all the right buttons. We want to invite you to get in on the conversation at 205-342-9904. That's the Alabama One hotline. And then, of course, send your comments, your thoughts, your questions, your reactions to the live stream chat, and we'll work those into the conversation. Man, I'm so excited about Alabama football. Yeah, man, there's some guys leaving. There's been a couple of guys who were players. There's some in the portal, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But let me tell you something. I posted a picture yesterday that showed the 1992 national championship offense. And let me tell you what everybody said about that group coming in, Justin. You probably, revisionist history sometimes causes you to forget things. You know what they told us when we signed with Alabama?
I don't know.
They said we were the worst class that had ever signed with Alabama. Let that sink in for a second. That's what the experts were saying. That's what all these naysayers and all this stuff were saying. These guys talking about naysayers, I'm glad they had something to motivate them. Justin, they have no idea what it means to be questioned. The year we won the national championship, we were at one point 12-0, and then 1 point 14-0, and then 1 point 15-0, number 17-0, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this is what you heard on ESPN. Alabama's the worst 17-0 team in the country, and a 12-0 team in the country, et cetera, et cetera. And we won 21 games in a row. We were still the worst, undefeated team in the country. That's the way one person picked Alabama to win the national championship in all of the entire media world. One person was on record saying Alabama would win the national championship, and it was a writer out of Arkansas. We ended up making him the grand marshal on our parade. And all I can tell you is at the end of it, Coach Stallings stood up and said, we might be the worst 13-0 team in the country, but we the only one. And that's what people need to understand. I believe what's happening around Alabama football right now, guys, may galvanize this team much like we were galvanized as a unit. Everybody questioning and everybody doubting and everybody thinking about the ones who weren't here and the recruits we didn't get and the guys who didn't stay. But the dogs who stayed had a galvanizing moment of great loss. That moment of great loss was we got embarrassed on national television by the Florida Gators. We got beat 35-0, Justin. 35-0. And we all came back. And this is what was said in that room. We said, if you want to be here, then it's going to take more than you've been giving. And if you stay here, then you're going to have to go all in because we are Alabama. We are Alabama. Let's start acting like it. and we won our next 23 games as a senior class. And then, of course, they went on to win. I think before we lost, it was like 28 games in a row. And then there was a tie. I don't even think it was a loss. And my point behind that is you can't understand. The thing you can't measure is heart and commitment to something. And I believe that all of the guys leaving and all the people questioning is going to have truly more of an impact than Lank ever did. I think these guys' hearts are going to be knitted together. They're going to be committed to the coach, to each other, and to the crimson jersey. And it's been a long, long time since Alabama's rolled out a bunch of, hey, we might lose some 4 stars, but we still got a roster full of 4 and 5 stars. And then Alabama, in my opinion, has never had this level of talent committed fully to the crimson jersey, into that script A, in a long time, if ever, this much talent. I'm telling you, I'm excited about what can happen here, what Alabama can do. I want to remind you, this is a Flashback free-for-all Friday, so anything's on the board from this week or anything else, but a couple of things we have from the playbook today, other than the free-for-all aspect of it is, hey, we still got the true-false question. If you want to talk about it, don't have to. College football is broken beyond repair. NIL portal leadership. Thoughts on Coach DeBoer's first week as the coach of Alabama? Hard to believe it's only been a week. Seems like it's been forever, but he's getting a lot done. What are your expectations for 2024? We can still talk about roster management with Xavier, MaX _ recruiting. We can talk about all those things and more, but most importantly, it's up to you. You're able to jump in here, talk about it, share it, comment on it, etc. Remember that this is the day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. I'm telling you guys, Alabama's going to be okay. All of these, everybody's saying these guys are jumping for money. I don't think Texas is just about money, X. I think Texas could be about, they think, well, Texas was just one game away from playing for a national title too. I think some of them are going there for the money, plus they think that that's who's going to win a national championship.
I mean, you can't argue with it. As you said, they were one game away. We talk about how Bama feels and former players feel. People around saying, hey, we were one game away. Why are you jumping ship? Well, it looks like Texas, with the money aspect, is a more appealing, hey, we were one game away.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be some interesting times ahead. We got several callers that want to get in. Bam, let me get a couple comments real quick. Bam 72 says, if these players that stay and the ones coming in embrace the challenge ahead of them, then the sky is the limit. I agree, and I think that's what's going to happen. Todd Atkins asking, rumor more guys going this weekend. What have you heard? I've heard that, I haven't heard a lot, Ty, about new guys. Some of the guys already in the portal will be making decisions probably this weekend. By the way, I posted a picture, and some people think because the picture was blurry that wasn't Pete Golding. The person who provided me that picture assured me, he said it's Pete Golding, and I'm not. I'm trying not to be even more negative. If I told you guys where he was at, you'd be even more convinced that it was Pete Golding. So, and if you go back and look, Lane Kiffin was posting some pictures from Tuscaloosa on that day. So don't think that's coincidence that Lane Kiffin was posting pictures of Tuscaloosa on his Twitter account, and then someone gets a picture of Pete Golding in Tuscaloosa. That Lane Kiffin is, if you watch him, he'll tell you what's going on. So just FYI.
Yeah.
And so there are some guys that I think that may make some decisions. But remember, just like the things started coming in, Alabama's going to start getting some news on the other side as well, guys. And as Bam Bam said, was watching highlights on Noah Carter last night. That's the 4-star edge rusher. This guy, he we were talking about Black in the pregame about how he really is a wide receiver, that they moved to tight end. This kid is athletic enough to but played outside linebacker, but was athletic enough to play wide receiver. And so
yeah,
he can play all over the field. I think Alabama gets that commitment. I think he decommitted for the same reason. He was committed to going to play Washington, but he was committed to playing for DeBoer and that staff. And so we're going to have some of the same reasons people left. We're going to have some good ones coming. X got a big commitment from a 6'6", 225, 30-pound quarterback. So we can talk about that as well. And we may make Monday or Tuesday some recruiting news as well in that first segment, because I think there's going to be some noise happening over the weekend. Let's go ahead and get to break here so that we can just run a few callers through X when we come back on the other side, guys. Keep it rolling right here on your home for Alabama sports. I'm excited about Alabama because I think it finally it's going to show. I said we're going to go to break, but on that picture I showed of the team yesterday, today, and forever, Alabama has always been the home of champions. Nick Saban has 6. We got 12 before him. Who has 12? If we remove the greatest coach of all time, how many programs still have more titles than us? Let that sink in, guys. Every coach since Coach Bryant has won 10 games at least once in their career. That got the coach that mean. So let that sink in.
That coach multiple years.
Yeah. Let that sink in. Alabama has always been the home of champions. And these players were built by Bama. Bama wasn't built by them. Bama was great when I came here. When I left here in the 100th year of Alabama, they had 12 titles. And since then, they've had 6 more. And they have 30 SEC championships. They have more All-Americans. Hey, listen, this is the home of champions. And we better start acting like it. And when these guys don't want to stay here, guys, let them go. Stop calling up on these radio shows talking about, oh, my God, his number one priority has to be to get Caleb down. It needs to be a priority, but it don't need to be number one. Number one is he needs to be all in on the dudes that have said, Coach, we got your back. We are not going anywhere. That's where his focus needs to be, on the dudes who've said we're all in. The worst thing you can do is chase the girl that didn't want you when there's one that loves you just as good. You better go after her, X. Let me get the break. Let me get the break. Come back on the other side. We'll keep the conversation rolling right here on your home for Alabama Sports. Tide 100.9.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. We always hope for the best on the Friday morning drive in particular, and we seem to be getting it so far. It's a very quiet ride with no big accidents or breakdowns or heavy interstate backups to deal with, at least for the time being. The drive down from Northport along Lurling-Wallace, crossing over the river on through Jack Warner Parkway. You're moving nicely there. McFarland Boulevard and the ride on 2059 as well. Just a quiet start all around. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Ray Romero.
Trust your trophy mount to the professionals at Hicks Taxidermy in downtown Northport. For over 40 years, West Alabama hunters and fishermen have taken their deer, fish, ducks, hogs, and turkeys to Hicks Taxidermy. They have an after-hours drop-off freezer, and they can handle mounts for overseas safaris because they are a USDA certified taxidermist. Hicks Taxidermy is the official scorer of the 95.3 The Bear Big Buck Contest. Hicks Taxidermy open Monday through Friday at 703 Main Avenue in downtown Northport.
365, 24/7. You'll find road and utility crews, tow truck, law enforcement, and first responders working along Alabama's roadway.
We're making improvements and helping our communities stay connected.
We're working hard to make sure you're safe on the road. Now we need your help to make sure we're safe too.
Alabama's move over law requires you to move over a lane when you see flashing lights on the roadside. And if you can't safely move over, please slow down.
Visit drivesafealabama.org, brought to you by the Alabama Department of Transportation.
Ray Buckner here for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. And first up, a flashback. In 2021, I was both excited and amazed with the award-winning Elantra redesign. Today, the 2023 Elantra remodel is recognized for the best value balance of price and features. I'm talking about both Elantra and Elantra Hybrid. KBB.com recognizes Elantra is the lowest 5-year cost to own in its class. Elantra wins awards for innovative technology and 5-star safety rating. Elantra delivers up to 42 miles per gallon for gas and up to 56 miles per gallon for Elantra Hybrid. If you're thinking about Civic, Corolla, or Sentra, accept this invitation to compare the 2023 Elantra at Tuscaloosa Hyundai. With no add-on side stickers, your cost to own is low from the get-go. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove, TuscaloosaHyundai.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
We'll forecast gradual clearing today. Colder, the high in the upper 30s at 39. Much colder tonight. The sky fair, the low at 16. And tomorrow we stay below freezing all day. A good supply of sunshine, the afternoon high at 30. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 36 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by MaX Sports. As we continue this free-for-all Friday, got some big news finally. We've seen everybody leaving, but Bama finally got one back, and that is Austin Mack, the 6'6", 225-pound redshirt freshman who played a year up under Coach DeBoer, sitting, watching Michael Penix. I think this is a big get for Bama, but I also want to know how it impacts this Bama quarterback room. There was a little bit of separation in age with Jalen, Ty, Dylan, and Julian. Now there's 2 guys back in that 2023 class at the wide receiver, at the quarterback position. So it's going to be really interesting to see what shakes out from there.
Yeah, and this kid is actually this year's class age-wise, but he has a year of experience in the system. It makes the quarterback room even more interesting. I thought it was funny, Xavier, that that some people like wonder what Sayan's gonna do now. Well, you all were just cheering for Sayan to beat out Jalen. Some of you were. So what if this kid's better than Sayan? So now you guys, so you got to be careful when what you be wishing for out there, Bama Nation. This dude may be better than all of them. He's not coming here. I think he's coming here. One, he's coming here because he knows what this system is like, and he wants to compete to play in it. And he saw what Arizona does, and that's who the head coach is at Washington now. And he looked and said, "I don't want to play for that offense. I want to play for the offense I just spent the last year in, because that's going to help my draft stock." But he didn't. I don't think he got an NIL deal out of coming here. Anyway, hey, let's get to the calls. X, Alan, you're in on the Alabama One hotline with Martin and Xavier. We got a question up. Great and DeBoer's first week. Answer that and then tell me what you call for.
DeBoer, his first week. Hey, with all the stuff going on with him right now that we don't know about, and that what we do know about, I give him an A.
Yeah,
I really do, because he had to go. He went through so much stuff that a lot of stuff we don't even know about he's going through right now. I mean, for him to stand tall and still do what he do, and doing what he's doing, and I get a man an A, and I'm with you. If you don't want to be at Bama, get your hat, get your coat, and get on. I'll give you a ride. Bye. I was in Georgia yesterday. I was in Atlanta. I had my Alabama shirt on, and everybody, I'm gonna rep over here. Oh, y'all lost this guy and that guy. I said, who? What guy? Who? Oh yeah, they were good guys, but Bama got somebody to back them up. We don't rebuild, we reload. Best believe that. Y'all can have whoever y'all want to get. Bama is not going nowhere. Y'all just want us to go somewhere, And all these sports talk people, and even Alabama Nation people, I don't even listen to on a radio show I listen to, Martin, is yours. Because even some of the rest of them are that we got to get this guy back. We got to get that guy back. If they don't want to be here, bye. See you. You know, but I'm tired of them. What I called about was Martin back in '92 when you graduated, and I got a good, one of the guys me and him lived together, and he was drafted in the first round, and he got when he got it, he got his agent. And I was talking to him. I said, "Man, you got a pro? Everybody else is driving these brand new cars and stuff." He said, "Man, suppose my knee goes out, I can't play no more." He said, "I got to look out for this money that I'm going to get on this first contract. Has to last me for the rest of my life if I don't get to play no more." So I'm looking at Arnold buy this $98,000, almost $100,000 car. I hope he can eat that. If his knee goes out, I don't wish him no bad luck. But I just think these agents or these financial advisors are not teaching these kids the value of money, and they think they're going to play forever, and that's not a reality.
Hey, watch this, Alan. Two things real quick. First of all, now I was blessed and was good at what I did, but the reality of it is, it was a lot of dudes on this team, on the '92 team, that was better than Martin Houston from a draft status standpoint. Now, I was good at what I did, but there was a lot of dudes that was going to get a lot higher draft status, and all of them went out. Not all of them. A lot of them went out and got cars. To your point, Alan, what nobody told you, listen, NIL didn't even exist back then, right? Exactly. But guess Martin Houston was in marketing. I went to my hometown dealer and said, "Hey, listen, man, we just won a national title. People want me to come speak and share and everything. Would you be willing?" I understand every car dealership has dealer cars, demo cars that they let their employees drive. I said, "Why don't you let me drive this Eddie Bauer?" Now, remember, 1992, Eddie Bauer was the top of the line SUV.
Yeah, it sure was.
I pulled up back at campus. All these guys they had agents and all this stuff. I didn't get an agent either. I represented myself. I pulled up in a Eddie Bauer that I didn't have to pay a penny for in 1992, with no agent, nothing, just understanding NIL. And I was fighting for NIL when there was no such thing as NIL. I actually, when we graduated, I called. I had an attorney. I didn't have an agent. I had an attorney friend who had played at Alabama, Ricky, and I said, "Call Daniel Moore." First of all, I got all the guys to agree with me that we shouldn't have to pay for prints, because I didn't want him just to take me out, Alan. I didn't want him just to take me out of the print. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to stay in the print. So I got all the dudes in there, and we agreed. And so I had my attorney call him and say, "Daniel, hey, listen, man, you're making this print off of us, and we're not getting anything out of it. And we have to buy it if we want it." Now, I wasn't trying to get into his money back then, at least, but I at least got all of us got free prints. And then that began to change. And the next year, supposedly, there was some agreement with Jay in Ohio State, and I don't know all the specifics. But think about it, that's NIL. That's how you use NIL. And to this day, that script A is still, it wasn't script A back when I played, but the script A, Alabama, still to this day, I can use it. And guess what? Now they've given us old hands. So I got some things that's going to be coming out that I'm working on, that I will show these young guys how they're supposed to use the NIL. That's my goal. So anyway, listen, I was, like you said, he was driving a less expensive car. I was driving a really expensive car, but I wasn't paying a penny.
But they also don't realize this. They got to pay these agents back. These agents, not only do they pay them back, they charge them interest. And it's not these agents' money.
It's their money.
A lot of these guys are so crazy that they give these agents power of attorney over their money. And if something goes wrong, they don't get that money back.
Hey, listen, it's the agents are paying them with their own money. They think they're getting money. They think that But here's the part, and I have to let you go after this, Alan. But listen to this, Alan. Nobody is talking about that $250,000 Lamborghini. You know he has to pay taxes on that. And it's not taxed at a regular thing. It's taxed at a bonus thing, which is over 40%. So he got a 250. He is getting gifts. He's getting. Nobody's talking about these guys in this money. And if they don't set things up properly, what you're going to see is guys who don't make it to the league, and they're going to owe 6-figure in income tax. And because they business all public, the IRS is just waiting on them. Anyway, all right, man. People they're not getting educated correctly. Thank you, sir. Pat, you're in with Martin and Xavier. What's on your mind, sir?
You don't like blonde surfer boys. And hey, we just got one. My question is he athletic enough to play defensive end? We're gonna have one of them.
What?
Hey, we need him to change positions, Martin.
He ain't coming here to change positions, Pat.
Have a big enough sample size, Martin. He only played 1 year, Martin.
He has a bigger sample size than Julian saying.
And
he has a bigger sample size than everybody.
He's got a bigger sample size. He's got a bigger sample size in this offense more than anybody. The only two people that have seen the field more than him is Milroe and Ty.
Yeah, but I'm messing with Martin X. But now coach is gonna coach is gonna like Marshall Dillon when he sees him. But I think that this is gonna be a fantastic spring game. That I can't wait for it. And if people don't want, if our Yay Alabama doesn't charge $25 to get into this game, is stupid, absolutely stupid. Because everybody and their brother is going to want to get into this football game.
Pat, watch this. I think they would get more money if they just took donations instead of setting a prize.
Yeah.
You get a lot of you get a lot of jackasses. If you get someone out there probably pay $100, you get a whole lot of jackasses
that wouldn't pay a penny. But I guarantee you, there are people who would make up for that. I've just seen it too many times in this type of environment where you set a price and the people who aren't gonna give any more than 25 anyway, they're gonna sit at home and not pay the 25 anyway. And then there's a lot more people who I guarantee you there's a lot of people out there right now who are excited and to come see this, they would probably give a donation of more than 25, and they would more than make up for the people who didn't. In that way, Pat, the players, here's the reason I say that, Pat. There are some people that may not be able to afford the 25. The reason Alabama fans, I think one of the reasons Alabama fans have such a loyal following and have had such a loyal following is part of the spring game. Because the state of Alabama is the University of Alabama is the creme de la creme of sports in the state. And there are people who can't afford to come to an Alabama football game. And so spring game is that time that they come to see their team in person. And then they spend the rest of the time showing that support as a fan, not from a financial standpoint, but from a fanatic standpoint. And what I wouldn't want to do is, those who can't afford to come to this annual gathering of the Bama Nation, that we don't keep them from being able to come because they can't afford it. And I know you may be saying, man, it's only $25. But the people in this economy, $25 for some people, Pat, is a lot more. So that's why I would say do it as a donation if you want to raise money on that day.
Yeah, I don't know more than that. All I know is that $25 a head. That there's going to be 100,000 people there. If it ain't storming, which it's hard to pick a weekend where it isn't storming in April, that this is going to be the most excitement since Coach was here.
I think it may be. I think it may be more excitement than that game. Because this is the
there was a note that 95 between 95 and 105,000 because alleyways. There was walkways that had people sitting in walkways in that game that nobody talked about, and I was there. And hey, I promise you this: that we could easily raise $2.5 million for Alabama just in that game.
I agree. I think there's a great opportunity, but like I said, it's been free. I would say keep it free, and take some of the concessions money and all that stuff. Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it. Coming back on the other side.
Have a blessing.
Roll Tide, man. Come back on the other side. We'll get in Brady and Philip. If you want to get in on the conversation on this free-for-all Flashback Friday, all you need to do is call us at 205-342-9904. That's the Alabama One hotline. Or put your question or comment in chat. We're grading Coach DeBoer right here on week 1. What you got to say about it?
Meet America's new favorite chicken sandwich, Freddy's new chicken clubs featuring tender, juicy chicken made to order, topped with crispy bacon, melted Swiss cheese, and fresh lettuce and tomato. Available fried or grilled, always fresh, and only at Freddy's. Order today on your Freddy's app or online at Freddy's.com or visit an Alabama Freddy's location near you, a proud sponsor of Alabama sports.
Are you receiving unemployment? Your benefits could be at risk. Here's how you can protect yourself and your benefits. Never respond to mail notifying you of a false claim in your name. Never answer a text message asking you to verify your account. And only respond to official Alabama Department of Labor social media pages. Report fraud at labor.alabama.gov/fraud. Brought to you by the Alabama Department of Labor, ADA, and the station. The Alabama Department of Labor is an equal opportunity employer program. Auxiliary aids and services available upon request to individuals with disabilities. Dial 711 for TTY accessibility.
DisneyCoins.com is the best site online to purchase Trump commemorative coins because no one else features the exclusive Ultra MAGA Trump coin line. Whether it's Let's Go Brandon or Still My President, each and every coin is made right here in the USA on machines built in America by Americans who love this country. These are collectibles, so when they're gone, they're gone. These coins make a wonderful gift for yourself or for the Trump memorabilia collector in your life with free shipping for orders over $400 at DisneyCoins.com. That's DISME coins.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year? Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy. IT? Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI. That's what I did. Really? How? Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up. Sweet. Are classes online or on campus? Both. Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide. Man, Bama has always been great and will be great again. Listen, the rest of the country is having their same type of reaction they had when we drove out to California way back in the 20s. The same way they felt when Coach Bryant showed up, that Alabama's dead, they don't belong. Same way they felt when Bill Curry lost 3 in a row. Same way they felt when Mike Price embarrassed the university. Boy, they enjoying life. But the one thing that none of them can argue with, Michigan just won their first outright championship, guys, since the 40s. Georgia went 40-plus years before they got another one, and they doubled their total in the last 3 years. Auburn has one that's just legit, just only theirs. When Notre Dame what? Who? In the program that has won, let's think about this. The dude that was dominating the SEC, Saban put him out. and Meyer, and now he's out of coaching and all of that stuff. LSU has been one of the more dominant, consistent programs, and they were built off of the Saban foundation. Alabama's going to be okay for two reasons at least. One is because they are Alabama, and they've always been Alabama, and they always have won, and they've always been champions. And number two is there's a foundation laid here that no coach has ever come into. And this guy's strength is process and organization. That's what he said. And he's also an X's and O guy. I ain't worried. Brady, you're on hold. Brady, you're on hold. Brady, you're on with Martin and Xavier on the Alabama One hotline. No, you got a question. I know you want to respond to something, but what's your grade for Coach DeBoer in week 1? Is Brady still there? Brady, if he's not there, going once, going twice, sold. Call back Brady if you can. Philip, you're on hold. Philip, you're on hold. Sorry, guys. Too excited. Let me let the adrenaline slow down a little bit. Guys, because think about me, X, as a former player, if I'm getting this excited about what this can do for the team, how much more do you think those dudes that's staying around are getting excited about the script A? Let's get to Philip. Philip, you're in with Martin and Xavier on the Alabama One hotline. I know you got a topic you want to talk to, but what's your grade for Kalen DeBoer week 1?
Oh, I give Coach DeBoer a strong A. I think he had to hit the ground running. Saturday was just a celebratory day, and he got in Friday night late, and Saturday was a celebratory day. He probably didn't really have a chance to do anything, football organizationally until probably some point Sunday. And so, I'm sure he did a lot as much as he could Saturday, but he was, more or less running around in his suit and tie and shaking hands and getting patted on the back. But I give him a strong A, and I think he's done a hell of a job since then. And sounds like, the Wisconsin secondary coach is on board now.
Yeah, and that Coach Hitzler was a co-defensive coordinator. So let this sink in right now, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
We have hired 2 former head coaches and a former co-defense coordinator from Division I FBS schools and 1 co-defensive coordinator from a Big Ten Power 5 school. That's our secondary. That's our defensive coaches so far. Plus, we kept Freddie, who was
the biggest recruiter,
who was the biggest. His defensive line probably made the biggest leap forward this year than all the positions on the team.
Right. Hey, Martin. When I call in to your show, I write down notes because I'm not a great extemporaneous speaker, so I have to be prepared.
You're fine.
That's why I'm sort of quick and to the point.
Yeah, you're
because
fine.
I write notes. So I want to say this. I don't know if you've looked at Alabama's academic calendar from the fall to the spring, but I have, and it's roughly 130 days of classes, roughly, if you look at all of it and take away the holidays and all that kind of stuff. The NCAA, they popped everybody with a 30-day portal window in January. They popped everybody with a 15-day portal window in April. And then, due to the congratulations of Coach Saban retiring, they hit us with a 30-day portal window after that.
Right.
So Alabama has 75 days, or 57%. And then your famous words, let that sink in. 57% of Alabama's fall to spring calendar is built around inviting players to leave our university.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was already at 34% with the 30 and the 15. But now with the other 30, it's up to 57% of their academic calendar from August through May. They're inviting guys to leave. That's atrocious. That is not what it ought to be about.
Yeah, you know, in Philip, you bring up a good point. This portal situation, they're going to have to do something, and everybody's like, I don't know what they can do. Let me tell you, nothing happening in college football is new. It's happened in the pros. So what do the pros do? They have a time that coaches can talk to players. They have a time that, to other schools. They have a time when free agency happens. All of those things happen. We already had another window. If they're really about student athletes and giving them the best chance to be the best student and the best athlete they could be, this is what would happen. There's already another window. The window opened, right, Philip? And it closed.
Yeah.
Well, when Nick Saban retired, there was already going to be another open window. When? After spring, right?
April.
After the spring, yeah.
Right.
15 days.
So if they really were concerned about their programs and their programs and their and the students, then what they would do is that player, when that coach comes in, he still is going to have a chance to transfer, right? But
exactly.
But what happens is when that changes, the portal doesn't reopen. He goes right on in to this spring because he's already said that he's not going to leave. Okay, so now, but if he decides to leave after having been with this program, then just open it back up in April. Okay.
Right.
That's one way to fix this because this disproportionately impacts the teams who lose coaches or coaches resign, who fire coaches. Most of the time you're firing a coach because your program is already bad. Okay. Most coaches don't get fired because they're doing good. So, but every program out there, even when it's a bad program that fires someone, they still have a couple dogs on that team. If you fire Vanderbilt's coach, if Vanderbilt were to fire their coach or he was to get a job right now and leave, Vanderbilt's roster would open back up. And then Vanderbilt would have 1, 2, 3, 4 players on that team that I could go poach.
They already have.
That's what
it happened this offseason. They had a wide receiver at Colorado now. Their freshman wide receivers at Georgia.
But hold on.
Quarterback left. I can't remember where he went.
Xavier, but the point I'm making is everybody was moving at that time. If he leaves now, he has no way to recoup that. It's not a two-way street. When that was happening, Vanderbilt could have been out recruiting guys themselves. Alabama right now does not. In other words, everybody is targeting Alabama's roster. Alabama can go to the portal, which the guys in the portal, the top one's already gone. So you're recruiting, most likely you're recruiting a second-tier guy, unless the team that loses the coach. Now they're being unfairly targeted. Let me tell you, here's my solution, Philip. See what you think about this. Mm-hmm. What would happen if, you can come get my roster, because this is the way the NFL kind of makes it work evenly, is that everybody is open at the same time and everybody closes at the same time, right? And if a guy has made a commitment, then he can't leave until his contract is up or whatever. So college doesn't have that ability. But what would happen? Let's say this: Texas, you want Isaiah Bond? Cool. But if you want Isaiah Bond from us, then your roster opens back up for one scholarship player to be recruited by the team. And it can be any and every position.
I love that.
You see what I'm saying? Like all of a sudden is not everybody roster opens back up. Not everybody roster, but whoever poaches from a team who lost their coach, their roster now becomes open to that team.
I love that.
And if that's the case, then Alabama could go, okay, who do we want from Texas?
Mm-hmm.
And then they could go after only one player per player. In other words, you get a scholarship of mine, I get one of your scholarship guys.
Right. Because Martin, right now, and I love that, by the way, Martin, right now, I don't see how Alabama can assemble a lot of their team, to recover from this portaling until after the spring semester. In other words, some of these guys may not actually, they're going to have to either drop out of school and come to Tuscaloosa and not be in class, or finish their semester and then come to Tuscaloosa. It's screwed up.
Yeah, and that's in Alabama. They will have to get some type of waiver to get enrolled at some point. I think there's a window, because I remember a few years back, some guys came in really late. I think there's some type of late enrollment that we'll still be able to get some of these guys. But you're right. Some of the guys may commit to Alabama. And here's the thing. They can't just drop out of school, Philip, because you have to have so many hours of credit to be eligible for the next season.
Yeah.
So they can't just drop out.
There is this thing called academics, which you don't hear about anymore.
Yeah, student athlete, and everybody's dogging this. But who's allowing this to happen? The NCAA.
NCAA. They didn't do squat back in 2021 when they had a chance to put some safeguards up, and they didn't do jack crap. And now we're in a mess. Not just us. When I say we, I mean everybody. The luckiest guy in the conference right now, and they're sitting around feeling pretty good right now, is Billy Napier, Clark Lee, and Beamer. South Carolina. Hell, they're never going to get fired.
Yeah. Thanks, Philip. Philip bringing the heat. Thank you. But he brings up a great point. The academic piece of college football is really, really suffering from this. And watch this. Here's the piece that nobody's talking about, X. Do coaches stop pushing for guys to graduate early, because now you lose the 1-year transfer, free transfer, and you can always lose grad transfers. And if you push guys to become better academically, it could actually end up hurting your roster. So, like right now, Jalen Milroe gets, technically he could leave anytime he wanted because he's graduated. So let's get the break here. Come back on the other side. We'll wrap up. J-Rob, stay tuned. We'll get you in. Man, I love talking to you guys each and every day. We appreciate you. We'll be back on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. We are underway with delay-free conditions all across the region this morning. A drive along 2059 from Skyland Boulevard to I-359, both directions, about 7 or 8 minutes with no big backups there. On northbound 359 from the 2059 interchange up to 15th Street, just a 2 or 3 minute trip with no big problems along the way there either, free of any major accidents for the time being. With Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Ray Romero.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Friday morning. Temperatures are above freezing across the area this morning, but it won't last long. A hard freeze warning will be in effect tonight through Saturday morning with a low near 15 degrees. But it will feel even colder in Lamar, Fayette, and Walker counties tonight through Saturday morning with a wind chill advisory for wind chills near zero. Temperatures will rebound next week into the 40s and 50s. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Weekday mornings at 6 a.m. The Martin Houston Show.
Welcome into the Martin Houston Show. That's right. We do it every Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. It's the Martin Houston Show, powered by MaX Sports. I'm Martin Houston.
And I'm Xavier Houston. Join us on Monday. We'll bring in Kennington Smith to continue to talk about Kalen DeBoer and the hire and all the coaches and players he will be bringing in.
Those conversations and more right here on your home for Alabama Sports, Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
Catch the Martin Houston Show from 6 to 7 weekday mornings on Tide 100.9.
Townsend Nissan Super Sale is underway right now with instant savings from $2,000 to $10,000 on most in-stock units. No reasonable offer refused. Shop Townsend Nissan today.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Anjali.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just got an alert for a strange charge on my card.
No problem. We make sure you're never held responsible for unauthorized purchases on your Discover card. Let's see. Did you purchase something from a t-shirt cannon store yesterday?
Absolutely not. No, I already have like 3.
$0 fraud liability guarantee. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Limitations apply.
Your best bet for big wins is just minutes away at Birmingham Racecourse Casino, where you can be a winner too. Off I-459, exit 31 Derby Parkway.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show. With the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show, right here on Tide 100.9. Hey, X, how many guys have gone to Florida State?
5.
Name them. Do you know who all it is?
Yep. Malik Benson, Wardell Williams, Sean Murphy, Earl Little Jr. Earl Little Jr. and Terrence Ferguson.
What happens if Michigan leaves? Harbaugh leaves. Kelly goes to Michigan, and Norvell goes to LSU. Do those 5 guys get to choose to transfer again? You see what I'm saying?
Technically, yes, because the portal would open back up for those for Florida State. That's what you're seeing right now. Bama's opened up, then Washington, then Arizona, and now we're waiting to see what the domino effect is with Michigan, because it could be a big one.
All right. Hey, let's get to J-Rob. J-Rob, you're in on the Alabama One hotline with Martin and Xavier. What you think about Caleb DeBoer's first week?
Happy Friday and roll tide, Xavier and Martin. How are you doing today?
Doing good. What you got for him?
I think he's doing good. I'll give him an A+, man.
Awesome.
He's coming into a strange place. He's coming into a strange place and doing the best he can. I want to thank you for kind of helping me with my attitude. I've been kind of down with listening to all the players that are leaving, jumping into Portland and leaving Alabama. But you kind of helped me by your stance on, if they don't want to be there, leave. We'll do it without them. So I'm good. I'm getting better with it. And if you don't like change, the last couple of weeks has been really bad, man. We can't even get over losing Coach Saban, and then we got a new coach. Now all these players leaving. Change is not the same for some folks, but we got to learn to live with it and deal with it. I'm going to sit back, see what's going on, and pull for my team and be happy with whatever we got left, and pull for my new coach, and try not to worry about these people that are leaving because they don't want to be there. Hey, we don't want them.
Yep. That's so true. Awesome.
Malachi Moore said it the best. You just can't say that on the airwaves.
Yeah. Thanks, J-Rob. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
All right. Roll Tide, J-Rob. Glad I'm helping attitudes out there. Let's make sure we got the right mindset. Paulie on the app said, what if we just went back to the rule where you would have to sit out a year? Would that fix it? It would fix some of it, but I don't like that rule. I'm okay with guys having one chance to get free because these coaches jump around. And I know as a player, you do sometimes you do go to a school based on the philosophy of the coaches. So if a coach jumps ship or leaves or retires, I'm okay with it. The problem is you can't do it. It still needs to be done. In other words, the guys would still, the way I was talking about doing it, they just wouldn't be able to transfer until after spring. They still could transfer if they wanted to.
And you know what?
But they may have. Go ahead.
And if they don't want to be here, regardless, they don't have to participate in spring.
Yeah, and here's the thing. That's right. If they have committed somewhere, whatever. But the beauty of it is, it would give these young men a chance to assess whether or not they fit without making a rash judgment. I mean, you just decided that you're going to play for Alabama, and now you're not going to play for Alabama because Coach Saban left. Well, that's not the reality. Reality of it is we know that coaches came and offered them more money and they had more opportunity, et cetera. But that's fine. I don't begrudge them for that. So, but I don't like I'm okay with having one free transfer where you don't have to sit out because coaches don't have to sit out a year when they change. So I'm okay with that.
Well, did you see what the NCAA did this offseason?
What's that?
They made it to what have you not noticed there are guys transferring for a second year in a row? Well, that's because the NCAA removed the 1 year the penalty for the second transfer.
Yeah,
I don't know how long it's going to last, but they did it for this offseason at least.
Yeah, and I don't like that because there'll always be reasons to leave, and sometimes it's not what's best. Like I said, I almost transferred, and let me tell you the reason. One of the main reasons I didn't leave X was I was scared to go talk to Coach Stallings. I wasn't, but now I can just tell some compliance person, "Hey, I'm going in the portal," and now it's done. So that's the bad part. The guys coming in late will be behind the 8 ball as far as learning plays and systems. This is what I tell people. When I came into Alabama, we didn't have early enrollment, and as a true freshman, I was in a position to almost play. And I learned the playbook in a matter of a few days and then begin to execute on it. So yeah, reps matter and it does hurt, but having all summer and all spring, which I didn't have all summer, I just had fall camp. That's a long time and a lot of time to learn plays. They're able to do the 7-on-7s. They're able to go out and do so they can get caught up. I'm not as worried about that particular angle running. X, closing thoughts real quick.
Hey, Coach DeBoer had a great first week. I mean, you look at the staff that he has assembled, I think is a top-notch staff. I think this is the move with the coaches that are going to be able to develop players no matter what star they are because of the history that they have. I am excited for what the future holds.
Yep, and Danny Gardner asked a question. I think he's recruiting players to come play for Bama versus just him. I think that is true. I think the script A has to become a part of the messaging. Not just you're going to get to the NFL, that we're going to make you rich, that you have to have the script A as part of your recruiting message. Come play for this Crimson jersey. I think he is reinstituting that as part of his pitch. A+ for me for Coach DeBoer. And hey, guys, NCAA is a mess. They just gave a guy a 9th year. We're going to talk about that. That's absolutely crazy. Well, anyway, we got to get out of here. We'll be back on Monday. I'm Martin Houston. That's Xavier Houston. That's Justin Jones. This is the Martin Houston Show powered by MaX Sports. Follow and subscribe on Facebook and YouTube under Martin J. Houston 35 to stay connected throughout the day and in between the shows. We'll catch you on Monday with Kenneth Smith III. Trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Roll Tide out there, everybody.
A dedication to last throughout the years.